Scrapbookers, it's Katie Scott and my blog is called Kiss and Tell Scrapbooking, and today I'm going to try something new in my scrapbook videos, and I am going to be concentrating on the rules of design. So one of the rules of design I found on a website, www.nwrain.com, and I'm just going to read a paragraph or two from the elements and principles of visual design. And so I'm hoping to focus on the principle of emphasis. So emphasis creates a focal point in a design. It is how we bring attention to what is most important. Emphasis is what catches the eye and makes the viewer stop. Sorry about that. That my son's little friend calls all day long. Wish he would answer the phone. Okay, so emphasis is what catches the eye and makes the viewer stop and look at the image. Without emphasis, without getting the viewer to look at the image, communication cannot occur. Emphasis can be created by contrast. An element in contrast with something else is more easily seen and understood. Something different attracts the eye. Any of the elements can be contrasted. Line, like if you have a curve in the midst of straight lines. Shape, a circle in a square of fields, or a field of squares. One red dot on a background of grays and blacks, that would be color. And that's the emphasis, that's the contrast that I'm going to be focusing on today. So if you want to read more about emphasis, there is, the place that I found this was nwrain.net, but really if you just Google elements and principles of design or graphic design, you can get to a lot of different rules of design. And there'll be some rules that you find that are going to be the same over and over, and others that they're going to call them different things. This is another book that I have about design, and this book they call it placement and divisions, grouping, harmony, emphasis. So that's sort of what I'm going for here, is that principle of emphasis, and I want to do that by color. Let's just see if they have an example here. Emphasis. Emphasis is a lot like coals in a campfire. When the embers are collected into a pile, their concentrated heat can ignite a log in seconds. Spread thin and their energy can barely warm a pair of cold hands. So a variety of methods of establishing visual emphasis are illustrated in this chapter. The samples shown are just tips of the large icebergs. Views and strategies, blah, blah, blah. Okay, you must be decisive. So in this example, he's saying, don't just, like, the design of this poster gives no clear emphasis to any one element. So the picture and all of the words, the title and the journaling are all like the same. So there's no emphasis there. But in this example, the picture is clearly larger than the words. And in this example, the words are clearly larger than the picture. Let's see if he has an example of color. This is probably, let's see, I guess he's trying to do color there. Here's one where everything's in black and white, and then one is in color. So color is an extremely effective tool when it comes to making one element stand out above the others. But just as with other forms of emphasis, its effect depends on how it is used in relation to the surroundings. So if we just had that photo, it wouldn't be emphasized, but we need all these others to make it emphasized. So ideally, and this book is by Jim Krause. It's called Design Basics Index. So ideally, what I could do is print. I'm going to use this photo, and what I could do is print out this photo a few more times in black and white. But I don't have a printer handy. So what I want to do is use emphasis and with color, and because she's got an orange outfit on and she's sitting on these orange benches and everything around her is pretty much gray, the picture already illustrates emphasis. because we're like our eye is going to all that orange. So what I'm going to try to do is mimic that in my scrapbook design. So I've gathered some materials here, and usually I don't, but I did today, and I tried to focus on black and white and gray and orange. So I just want to show this photo on a black and white background of numbers, of just black. I think that works really well to draw your eye right to her. This is actually, it is blue and green geotags. I think they're called geotags, but it kind of reads as gray. If you kind of blur your eyes and look at it, I think it still has the effect of bringing your eye to the orange. Let's see. There she is on black again, black and white again. Here she is on orange, and I'm not going to recommend that. There's orange again. And there's an orange chevron, so black and white. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I think I'm going to use the black and the geotags. And then I have all of these different elements that I brought in. So I have little letters. I have some paper embellishments. I pulled some 6x6 papers that were in the color scheme. Right? Ta-da. And then I have some Project Life cards in the same color scheme. And I even pulled some stickers. And what I did is the other stickers, like, I just put on a sticker sheet that was almost empty. And then I have these basic gray letters, and I was going to do some prep work, and then I didn't do it, but I was going to get a set of Copic markers, just to see if I can change the colors of these and make them look a bit more orange. And yes, I think that will work. I'm just testing it out here on a Z, because I don't usually use Z, but I think that's going to do what I need to as far as making the letters the right color. So I'm just using a Copic marker. This is, I don't know where this came from. I think it came from a scrapbook yard sale, but it's R02, but it really helps the orange look more orange, even though it sort of looks brown. And then I was going to do the same thing with the darker letters, and because I don't have a black Copic marker, let's try the E44. It's called Clay, and let me try it on one of these. And where's the Z? Here it is. Okay, I think that's reading more brown than I would like it to. I would like it to read more gray. So I also have this silver Sharpie, and I can make it silver. And I kind of like the look of that. Let me just try it on a darker one, because these letter stickers are just about used up. Okay, it's working on the... So I can probably form together some words with all of these random sheets that are a little bit used. So I think that's going to work pretty well. So I have my Sharpie and my Copic marker, and let's get started. Okay, so this is the basic design here. I want to have the page framed, and so I'm going to cut down this. I'm not going to use these, I don't think. So I'm just going to set those to the side. And I finally brought my sewing machine up here, so I'm pretty excited about that. Let's just see. So I might even sew. Oh, that'll be exciting, because I haven't been sewing on my projects recently. Okay. So I do these videos in real time, and so you can really see how long it takes. So I'm not quite measuring this, but now I will be able to measure the other side with this. I'm just going to add that in there. So I don't know exactly how much, but I've just lined this up. So this little space is the same amount. So that should be a square. Okay, the square is a little bit smaller than I would have probably, normally. I think I would have left it a little larger, but I'm not going to change it. But one thing I can do is that I could sew this down, or I can use, let me see if I have washi tape, because I think that might be interesting too, is to just washi tape it down. Because what I'm doing is this, the subject matter of this story. So why am I scrapbooking this picture where she looks so miserable, because she was, because we went to Disney World and we go to the water parks, and Epcot used to have, and maybe they still do, and I just don't know about it, but they used to have like an after 2 or an after 4 pass, and I remember getting one and loving it, and thinking that it was a pretty good bargain. Okay, I'm just looking for a corner rounder, and I don't seem to find one. Let me just see. Just gonna look in one more place, and then I'll continue on. I thought I had one up here. No, I cannot seem to find one. Let me look in. I have a punches drawer over here. Ah, I found it. Okay. So because I might use these Project Life, and the thing is a little bit different. So if I use the Project Life, and if I choose to round the corners, let me just see how that looks if I just round these corners of the Project Life cards. They're not all that different, but that way, if I round the corners of everything else, then they're all going to be the same. So I think I actually want to do rounded corners today. So I'm going to round the corners of this. I don't know if I should have done that. Because I don't think the washi tape is going to work as well. I was going to do like a border of washi tape, but I think with the rounded corners, I shouldn't have done that. But part of my philosophy on scrapbooking is you just keep on going, so I'm not sure how many. I think what I'm going to do is not use the washi tape. And so what I'm thinking here is for the repetition, because I don't really have it, right? In the book example with the safety pins, there were those repetitions, but I don't have any other pictures. So because I don't have any other pictures, I think what I can do is use these gray project or 6x6 cards to mimic a black and white photo. So even though there's nothing in this photo, let's just line that up. What I can do as a column, as though I was doing a line like a band or a column of photos, but instead they're going to be, some of them are going to be pattern paper. So there's one that's the same size as a photo, and trying to decide if I want, because usually like you want the subject looking into the middle of the page. So here she's looking down. So I might put her up here, but I also like just having her like look down. I'm not sure. I'm gonna put her here just to see if I like that. I could even put her straight in the middle, but I kind of feel like she belongs over on the right side of the page. And so instead of using this red as one of them, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to keep on with the black and white. So I have a few more here with the black and white. I'll use this one, and this one's not going to go all the way up. So that's going to look like, although I think I want this lower because it's a darker color. And then I feel like I need a different, or maybe this here. That's going to go up there. Or it can go, oh, I don't know. I'm not sure. Let's see how we like this. I think I like that. I think I like it like that. So this is the time when I'm going to start adhering things down, because I pretty much have the basic, I don't know where titles and embellishments and all that sort of thing are going to go, but I pretty much have, here's how the page is going to go together. So let's adhere some of this stuff down. Okay, hopefully this thing won't make those horrible noises that it sometimes does. Okay, and I'm just going to adhere this right. Just going to try to get it centered. That looks good to me. And then I'm going to start with the photo. And I think I decided she was actually going to be looking down, like, even though it seems like I should be putting her up here, I'm going to put her here instead. So anyways, we were at Downtown Disney, or we were at Blizzard Beach, not Downtown Disney. And then we had seen a movie at Downtown Disney the night before. So this was like the second night that we were there. We had some work done on our house. You want to just line these all the way up like it was a roll of film. And what can I tell you? Get those down. Just trying to line these up so they're straight. I think that they are. So we weren't going to go to Downtown Disney again. They didn't want to see another movie. They wanted to go to Epcot. And I really thought we could go to Epcot and it would be, you know, not that expensive. But we got there and it turned out to be something like $1 million. Not really. But we got all the way to the gates. And it was going to be like $600 to go to Epcot for 4 hours. And I was just like, no, we're not going to do it. Maybe I'm getting the numbers wrong, but I think that's how much it was going to be, or $400 or some crazy amount of money that I was just like, it's just not, I'm very sorry, but it's just not happening. So let's just make the best of things and we'll go do something else. And so we got on the boat to go to the resorts, because Disney has resorts that you can go to and they have shows and things like that. And so we were going to go to one of the resorts. So here's the foundation of my page. And so my journaling, I think I'm going to put it here. Now I could add in these Project Life type cards to kind of draw extra emphasis to her. Or even, since I like this one because it says, tell your story, a real life story. And it really was. But I don't want to get the orange. I want to concentrate the orange right around her. So another option would be I can also make this go across. Let's see if that works. And that is the same size. So the Project Life type card is going to be the same size, so that's good. And what I'm trying to do is use color to emphasize the photo. So if I go like that, I can write my story right here. I'm not sure how much I love that. And then I can, I don't know if I like this. As I said, I don't pre-plan these, and so let's just see if I can tell you a real life story. So I could even have this like open up. Oh, that would have been cute. I wish I would have seen that before, but I didn't. It could go here though. And that says life. And so that could be an extra spot for my journaling. And then life is meant to be remembered. Let's do that. So we're going to continue with that gray cross. But I feel like these, the card and the photo are the same size. Anyways, we went through this wild goose chase of trying to do something like not in the park, and we just failed miserably at it. And we were going to go to there's like a Chippendale campfire at the like wilderness resort. That's it. Like we finally got all the way there, and it took a long time to get there. Ooh, that's very aggressive adhesive. Wow. Just try to line that up a little better, and it was very strong adhesive. Okay, and then this is going to go over this way. But first I'm going to round the corners to make a match. So this is, I know they're selling these punches now, but if you just have your own corner rounder, you can go over the already rounded cards and still use them, and I think that looks pretty cool. So I didn't end up using the orange side of that card. But anyways, we got to the campfire, and then it was going to be like 15 minutes before it started, and it was just, we were hot and tired, and then we decided to leave. We just, it was just a big old mess, the whole entire thing. So this is on the bus ride to get back to where we could get on the monorail to get back into our car so we could go back to the hotel. So the title of this page, and I think I'm going to use this as my place for the title. So I ground a lot of orange things, but I almost think it might be interesting if I didn't, I don't know. I know what I could do. I think I'm going to use these. I'm going to use this and a square punch. And I saw this online. And so you can make chevrons, or you can make, what do you call it? Oh, I can't remember how to do this. Let me just see. It was like if you square punched, let me just see if I can remember how to do this. So I'm just making a little square there, and then if I wanted to make a chevron, like an embellishment, go like this. Yeah. And so I can kind of point to her. And I think, oh, I should have gone faster on that. That didn't work out very well. Let's try in a different corner. Okay, that made that one a different size. There are a lot of like very clever punching, like punch tips on Pinterest. I've made a board called, I think it's called Techniques Punches, and it's just really pretty clever how you can make things with your, like, make things with a punch that, I think one of the sides of this isn't as good as the other side, but I'm not remembering which is which. So these are not perfect chevrons, but I think it works. I think the trick is just going fast. No, that's not the trick. I don't know what the trick is. I think you could also probably just cut them yourself with your scissors, and it would probably come out pretty straight. Yeah, not so bad. So there's a little bit of contrast. I actually think that it's not, I'd like it to be darker, but rather than going through all that on another piece of paper, let's just try this trick. And I think that's going to work to make my little chevrons stand out a little bit better. And I guess if you were pretty clever, you could probably make them look more watercolored. Just trying to see what time, how long I've been talking. 27 minutes, okay. So there's other ways of doing emphasis as well. Like, you don't have to do color, you can use other techniques. Like if you had a bunch of photos and you cropped a bunch of them down and you left one as the bigger one, that would create emphasis. Or if you had pictures that were all the same size and then you just like matted one or put all the embellishments around one, that would work. But this is going to be emphasis using color. So really, and I'm just wondering if I should go all the way up with that or not. And I kind of think I don't want to. Although, I might just want to do some arrows. Let me just see. It would also be pretty clever if I made these, see if I can make those bigger ones darker as they get closer to her. Because these are copics, you can keep going over. I think that made that just a tiny bit darker. So if I went over 3 times with color on the ones closest to her, and then just twice with color on the middle ones, and then just once with the color on the third ones, that would give an ombre. So that's what I'm trying to do. Now I'll just go once over the medium ones. I think that's working. then my other thought was, what if we made some triangles? There's finally a triangle punch out there on the market. I think American Crafts makes it. So those are going to be too big, so I'm just going to keep cutting down. Let's just see. So I started with a square. I like the little ones. And I'm going to leave those lighter because they'll be less noticeable. And then I think what the other thing I want to do is I really want to use my sewing machine since I finally brought it up here. So I'm going to sew along the middles of these and really hope that I don't mess it up. Actually, I do and I don't want to do that because if I do it and I mess it up, I'll be disappointed. But what the hey, I think I'll try it anyways. So I do want to adhere those down first. And the way that I'm going to do that is, oh, we're ready to go. I have this pad of sticky dots, which is really great for stuff like this. So I will take, just basically lift up, and then I can do them all at once. So I know where everything's going. I'm just going to keep it where it was. Basically, keep it where it was. Doesn't have to be perfect. But that way I'll know when I'm putting everything back on there. So Thanksgiving is this week. And we did fake Thanksgiving at my house, so we had the grandparents over. But we did a big Thanksgiving day at my sister-in-law's house, and I don't have to. Oh, check that out. There's my title, Keep Calm and Travel On, which I used on a different page, but that's a perfect title for this, and I really even like it that it's in white. Okay, that's very funny. I don't know what I use that for. I'm going to get I'll be right back. I'm going to get my tweezers because I think that's going to help me. Okay, I have the tweezers and I'm ready to start with the embellishing. And another thing, I'm done with my 30 days of scrapbook videos. Woohoo! So that was fun. I'm also done with doing the video scrapbooking because I lost a bunch of subscribers that way. Nobody really loved that. My family included. So my YouTube family wasn't, the only folks that didn't like it. My actual family thought they were kind of boring too. Yeah. Oops. So this is pretty sticky too, so I want to get it down right in the right spot. I guess I could have drawn a line in pencil and erased it, but I don't really do that. Just trying to line them up. Right along the bottom. Okay. Oh, I know what I can tell you. I have a blog giveaway. I have my blog is called Kiss and Tell Scrapbooking, and I got a email from Wendy Smedley over at Big Picture Classes, and she sent me the information to do a giveaway on my blog of Tracy Clark's picture the holidays. And so I took her class, I think it was called Elevate the Everyday or Picture Every Day. And so this is like the holiday version. So I'm looking forward to that because, you know, it's great when you get awesome photos of the holidays, but if your photography skills are anything like mine, like sometimes I get great photos and sometimes I get lousy photos. And so I think it's, you know, if you've got holiday events, it's worth it to invest some time and energy in getting all your equipment ready and getting your skill, you know, like honing up on your skills, like how to film, you know, how to photograph in low light situations, and also when, you know, when the kids are running around and fast and everything else. So, oops, I guess I need a couple more triangles. I must have spaced that just a little bit differently. So if you go to my blog, Kiss and Tell Scrapbooking, you can leave a comment on your favorite holiday photo, and then I will select a winner, I think on, I either said Friday or Saturday, I can't remember, but it's on the blog. So there we go with the emphasis on color. And because there's no color over here and there's no color anywhere else on the layout, I think that the color of the orange and the color of, and let's just see, I don't really think I want to add a lot of embellishment because everything's pointing to her. And so I have some stickers and stuff like that handy, but I'm not sure that I'm going to use them. But I did like the idea of using this title that was already here. So let's see what else I have. Let's see what other treasures I have in this thing. Here's a couple of arrows. I think I'm good on the arrows on this layout. But I do like the idea of using these letters since they're already done, and I seriously had no idea that they were there. So I think what I'm going to do is, I don't know what I'm going to do. Because those keep calm, it's like, keep calm, it goes, it's kind of centered, isn't it? So I would have to center it over here, and then that's going to make it all jumbly over here. I could do it over this way, but it's really, I think that would be taking away from the emphasis. Let's just start. Let's just see. We'll see what we see. That's what my grandfather used to say. Let's just see what we see. I could kind of justify it, even though that's not how those, you know, those English, it was like an English from England poster from World War II. But I like the sentiment. I think the sentiment works well with this because she's so upset. So I don't think I'm going to center it as those posters usually are. I think I'm going to right justify it. Yeah. Oops. Oh, I just killed my E. Oh, I thankfully have a couple more over here. So that was a little bit of serendipity there. Because I really didn't, I don't plan these videos ahead. Sometimes I'll gather some materials together like I did today. Usually I don't, but I don't usually have it all planned out. Like if you watch, like say, Scrapbook Soup, which you can now watch on YouTube, and it's really good. Like Julie Faye Found Balter's on it, and she has guests like Allie Edwards and Nancy Nally. But I don't think I really justified that very well over there, but I'm going to keep going because I don't want to bother with pulling all these up, and it's really good enough for me for this purpose. So, and travel on. But what was my point? I forgot, sorry. I really did forget. I totally don't remember. But anyways, that's, Scrapbook Soup. Okay, so Scrapbook Soup, the, what they do on the show, it's a really great show for scrapbookers. But what they do is they have to, like, figure out what the layout is going to be, and then they step it out. So, like, they actually end up making the same layout, like, 4 or 5 different times, so they can say, here's what it looks like with this, and here's what it looks like after this step. And so my videos are not like that at all, because I seriously just press play on my video recorder on my iPad, and that's what I've been using lately, and then I start talking and scrapbooking. And so sometimes the page is going to come out great, and sometimes it's not. So there's very little pre-planning in this, but that's part of what I encourage you to do, is don't get too caught up in the pre-planning. Just keep going. Like, just, you know, make decisions and keep going. And just keep yes-anding your, all of your decisions. So yes and is a concept from improvisational comedy, where if somebody says, oh, we're on an airplane, you don't say, no, we're not, we're in a restaurant. You say, yes, and we're flying over Hawaii. Yes, and you just keep going. So in scrapbooking, I've said, oh, I'm going to use black as my foundation. Yes, and then I'm going to put this geotag over the top of it. Yes, and I'm going to round all of my corners. Yes, and my photo's going to go right here. Yes, and I'm going to make arrows that point to the photo. Yes, and oh, look at this. I found letters that will work. Yes, I'm going to use those even though I did not plan them. So, with all of those yeses, we get this put back where it goes. And so now is the next and. So what is my next and? So I've said yes to all these things. What is the next thing that I'm going to do? And the title that I originally had in mind was, the worst day. In scrapbooking, it's always like the best day ever. Well, this is the worst day ever at Disney World. And so I'm just wondering, like, should that go here in these little letters? I think that could work. Keep calm and travel on. The worst day ever at Disney World. And then my journaling will go over this way to explain what happened. The worst day ever at Disney World. Okay. So, because I want to keep this line going, I'm going to write out what I'm going to write so I can spell it in the backwards. Just find a pen. Oh, appropriate. It's a Disney princess pen. The worst day ever at Disney. Okay. This is just so I don't skip any of the letters. This little Tim Holtz Ideology label letters is one of my favorite things I've ever bought, because it was $2. I want to say it was $2. And it's got so many letters. It's amazing. And they're just the right little size, and they're easy to use, and they're so cute. They look like the label maker Dymo, or the old-fashioned label maker where you like squeeze it. It looks like that, but you don't have to have the little machine. I think I got these at Joann's. I haven't been shopping in a long time because I've actually been trying to purge. So I do feel like oh, it would be nice to go and get a few things. But I'm fighting that urge, and I'm actually going to try to fight that urge until the next CHA. So the worst. Unless my local scrapbook store has a yard sale, then I will definitely hit that. And what I will do, if they have a yard sale, I'm not going to be a seller, but I am going to bring a box of stuff and just write free on the box and leave it on the sidewalk. Because I do have things that I need to get rid of, but I'm still in the process of changing around my scrapbook space, and I haven't completely bonded with this new space still. It's becoming like, oh, when is it ever going to happen? When am I ever going to feel like this is my creative zone? Because I don't feel that way yet, and I would like to feel that way, but it hasn't happened yet. It will. Like, I can still get layouts made up here, but I don't feel like I'm in the zone, you know? I don't feel like I can come in here and just rapid fire it, which I could in my old space. But I'm still committed to switching the space, so we'll see. Okay. So I would also like to not go over on this part, so what I can do, even though I've stuck these down, I'm going to just pull them up and then trim them just a little bit. Just to make them fit better. And so you can like measure everything first before you stick anything down, but most of the time you know you're going to pick it and stick it and it's going to be just fine. So for the rare instances that I have to pull things back up, when I do pull things back up, I do it with purpose. Like, there's a reason I'm pulling these back up. So I still, still think pick it and stick it is a good strategy for getting pages done faster. Even though sometimes you're going to have to pull your letters back up and they're not going to look as good as they did before, it's okay. So there's pros and cons to each way of doing things. But this way of doing things helps me to keep going, to keep saying yes and to keep getting my layout accomplished. And the other cool thing about these little letters is they just don't work at all. There's so many of them that it's okay if I just sacrifice some. Not that I'm intending to, wreck them, but I think I wrecked the word day. So it's okay. There's more. So I'm gonna trim them before I put them down. And really, you can measure first. That's smart. And it's nice to have a little clear ruler so you could do that, but don't let that stop you. Like, if you don't have all the perfect things, don't let that stop you from scrapbooking. Just keep going with what you have. And even with what you have handy. So I know that I have, like, maybe the perfect supply or the perfect thing in some other part of my house. Because scrapbooking has exploded everywhere. But it really hasn't. It's exploded in two specific places. This one and my old scrapbook room. But I'm not running down there to get things. And even though, like, I've got all my paints and mists downstairs, at some point I bring them up here, but I might not. So when I scrapbook up here, I might just not have access to that type of supply, which is fine with me. Okay. The worst day ever at Disney. I hope Disney doesn't see this and tell me, you can't say that about Disney World. We love Disney World. But this just was seriously the worst day we ever had at Disney. And I think that's one thing that, we're lucky because we live close to Disney World, which was by design in my life. But you know, if you're traveling down here and you've spent all this money and you have such high expectations, and then you finally get here and then, you know, the kids aren't being super cheerful, or somebody hurts somebody's feelings, then it can be kind of stressful, you know, because it's just, you know, like with any big event, if you've spent a lot of time and money and then you get over there and then it's not like as fabulous as you ever thought it was going to be, then it's like it's, you know, the disappointment is heightened as well, I think. But we usually have a good time over there. Although we don't go as much as we did when they were little. They have a new Princess World. We haven't been over to see it yet. My daughter's kind of over princesses. But when she was little, like the time to bring them to the Princess World is when they're little and they're so enamored with all the princesses. And make reservations, but you can eat in the castle. You can also eat with the princesses over at Epcot in Norway. And that you don't have to make such advanced reservations for. And the food is pretty good too. Especially, I like Norwegian food. But all the princesses like come to your table and you get to take pictures with every single one of them. So that's pretty exciting. Okay. We're almost done with this title. It looks like I've used a lot of T's. So Tim Holtz, you have 2 T's in your name. Put more T's in your letters. Less X's. He's got 5 X's. Seriously? Like, you don't need all those X's. Or, I know what to do with all those X's. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to use all these X's as like a little embellishment. Let me just see. Up here, like it's just a little like blah. And to get rid of all these X's. Because they kind of look like, you know, like a stitch. But mainly I just want to get rid of all these X's. I don't know why. I could just throw them away and not put them on my layout, but now I'm feeling pretty clever that I'm getting them used. So that just kind of gives a little bit more definition to that column. And then I really think I should do that. If you do something at the top, do it at the bottom. And then all those stupid X's will go away. And then I just have my journaling to do, and maybe a little bit of other stuff. Like, so it's always good to put, you know, some finishing touches on your layout in the form of some other texture, like something shiny or something, a button or a brad or a ribbon or some washi tape. We talked about that before. But I was going to maybe do that. I think I just need one more X. Oh, I'm quite pleased with myself that I've used up the majority of those like superfluous X's. So that's fun. Okay, so I have washi, and I have it in these colors. And I think what I'm going to do is, because it's kind of like a, let me go over everything, see how that looks. I could if I don't like the way that looks, I could put it underneath. Kind of think I want to put it underneath, although I could do like this. Life is mean. So that it says life is meant to be, life is mean. I don't know if that's the best ever, but I like that I've got this visual going straight to her, even though I've got all this stuff on the side of it. I still think your eye, like this competes a little for the emphasis, but it's alright. It's good. So I'm going to do what you're not supposed to do in scrapbooking and just use a regular old pen. So this was summer. And really, like, I should have started my journaling right here, but whoops, oh well, I'm not going to change it. 2013. We planned to go to Epcot after Blizzard Beach, but when we got to the front gate, it was a bit of a Clark Griswold moment when it was just too crazy expensive for a few hours. And then we spent 3 to 4 hours in the elaborate maze of Disney transportation. Black. Things don't always go as planned. Keep your chin up, girl. Love, Mom. Okay, so I think I'm done. Well, I'm not done. I lied. I was going to put some more things onto the page. And so one thing that you can do to... I don't think I want to use any more arrows. I do have this number 9, which I kind of like the idea of that because she was 9 at the time. And so... and kind of like a number 9 bust, that sort of thing. So that could go right up here. Let's do that. I'm gonna turn off the edge. And then what you do to the top, you should do to the bottom. So let's see if I just have something similar. This is colorful. No, I don't think that's going to work. Let's see what else I have. I feel like I shouldn't have used that. It's okay, just keep going, it's fine. I do have this number 9. I think I'll just leave that there. Almost 10 years old. Okay, then I have this space. And the right Miss Allison, almost 9 years old. With the princess pen. That's kind of funny. And so I'm still thinking that I need some more doodads or something to put on the page. I do have all of these. Have all these sparkles, and there's no orange sparkles, so I really want to just stick to the stars, but I'm not really sure where they would go. Like, I could make kind of a diagonal of them, but I don't think that's gonna, I think no. I think they don't work on this page. So all of that orange that I pulled before just isn't gonna work at all. And the confetti needs to go back into the container. Let me just think. I do have, I was just looking at, gosh, I don't know what to do. But I do know that it needs just a little extra something. I have some epoxy dots over here, and let's go with those. That's pretty easy. So I've got, there's dark blue and dark blue or white. So I'm just thinking of where should they go. I don't know. They could go like this. But I don't know. I feel like I'm just trying to place them. It could go here. Let's try it. Oh, this is neat. You could kind of see what that's gonna look like. I think if I put them anywhere, it would be right here. So let's do that. Oops, I should have used my little tweezers. So I saw somebody was showing how to make epoxy dots, like your own epoxy dots. I think with like dimensional glue. That was kind of interesting. But she was making them like on a different sheet and then adhering them down. And I thought, why not just do them right onto the page? But I could kind of see where it might be useful to not have them right on the page. So there's my my 3 little epoxy dots. So now I feel like I've embellished. Okay, so I think that's about all. I think that, I went so long, so I apologize. 1 hour and 3 minutes. Okay, I'm wrapping it up. This has been Katie Scott. My blog is called Kiss and Tell Scrapbooking. I have a giveaway going on over there right now, and this is my example of emphasis using color. Yes. Okay, thanks for watching.